When you speak your truth, does that make you not want to actually speak out and actually keep it as real as you kept it in these interviews?
There have been days where I thought to myself, maybe it's just too much trouble.
Oh.
And then I remember that's my fucking purpose.
Diddy's been in some serious hot water lately. Like, we're talking lawsuits piling up left, right, and center. And Young Miami's name has been right next to Diddy's. She's been buzzing with some seriously spicy gossip about Diddy's wild adventures in the celeb scene. And hold on to your hats, cause she kinda let slip a name you wouldn't expect to be tangled up with Diddy, Cuba Gooding Jr. Turns out he might have been helping Diddy plan all of his weird activities. So first off, a producer from his album dropped some heavy accusations, sending shockwaves through the industry. And now, the producer of his latest album, Off the Grid, is taking him to court for a jaw-dropping $30 million. Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a producer on Com's latest album, spilled the tea in a lawsuit filed recently. In the lawsuit, it's claimed that Mr. Jones bunked with Combs from September 2022 to September 2023 while helping whip up tunes for the rapper's Love album. Plus, he clocked in quite a few weeks chilling on Diddy's yacht. But here's where it gets wild. The suit spills the tea that Mr. Jones wasn't just mixing beats. Nope, he was allegedly front row center for a whole lot more. Think hundreds of hours of recording where Combs and his entourage supposedly got up to some shady business. According to Lil Rod, Diddy ain't playing nice. He's alleging some seriously shady stuff went down, involving pressure, inappropriate touching, and even getting tangled up in some unsavory situations with ladies of the night. Now picture this, a world where Diddy feels supreme, pulling strings left and right, with cash flowing like water and power moves galore. Lil Rod claims he got stiffed out of over 50 grand for his hard work on the album. And get this, he paints a picture of a music scene where messed up relationships are the norm, with Diddy allegedly trying to drag him into the chaos. The suit suggests Lil Rod has got the receipts, claiming he's got irrefutable evidence of everything from drug dealing, ecstasy and cocaine, to some seriously sketchy stuff with firearms, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. The suit also accuses Combs of serving up spiked drinks to minors and sex workers at his cribs in California and Florida. But Lil Rod ain't throwing shade at Diddy alone. Oh no, he's pointing fingers at the whole crew. From heavy hitters in the music game like Universal Music Group's CEO to Diddy's right-hand woman and even his own son Justin, they're all named in the lawsuit. And when Lil Rod tried to speak up, he claimed he was shut down with a dismissive, "You know Sean will be Sean" from Com's chief of staff. While working alongside Diddy, Jones stumbled into a world that went way beyond his producer duties. Now let's talk about Jones's star-studded encounters. Working on the award-winning Love album, he rubbed shoulders with some of Diddy's famous pals. But hold on to your hats, it wasn't all glitz and glam, especially with Cuba Gooding Jr. Yeah, the Oscar winner himself. Jones spills the tea, alleging Gooding Jr. got uncomfortably handsy, touching and groping him in places no one wants to be touched. And guess who else gets dragged into the drama? Young Miami herself. She's all over Lil Rod's lawsuit, with claims of getting high with Diddy on Thanksgiving back in 2022. Lil Rod even brings up Young Miami's cousin, alleging they were both chilling at Diddy's Miami pad. Now Diddy's lawyer is saying that Lil Rod is nothing but a liar. Lil Rod is nothing more. His reckless name-dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines. We have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, have been ignored as Mr. Blackburn refuses to return our calls. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate action against those who make them. But he's not stopping anytime soon. Now here's the twist. He also threw Gooding Jr.'s name into the mix, shifting the spotlight away from himself and onto Diddy. The lawsuit stated that Gooding began touching, groping, and fondling Mr. Jones's legs, his upper inner thighs near his groin, the small of his back near his buttocks, and his shoulders. To Mr. Jones, he was extremely uncomfortable and proceeded to lean away from Mr. Gooding Jr. He rejected his advances, and Mr. Gooding Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcibly pushed him away. The lawsuit described Gooding Jr. as a relevant actor who has fallen from grace due to several sexual assault lawsuits and a recent guilty plea for SA. His alleged actions were described as willful, wanton, and malicious. At all relevant times, Mr. Gooding Jr. acted with conscious disregard for plaintiff's rights and feelings, acted with the knowledge of or with reckless disregard for the fact that his conduct was certain to cause injury and/or humiliation to plaintiff, and intended to cause fear, physical injury, and/or pain and suffering to plaintiff. Now let's switch gears and dive into Cuba Gooding Jr.'s roller coaster journey in Hollywood. His story isn't your typical Hollywood Hollywood fairy tale? Nope, far from it. While Hollywood big shots might have put a dent in his fame, let's not forget Gooding Jr. played a part in his own downfall. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, he was on fire with roles in TV hits and blockbuster movies, earning an Oscar along the way. But then, things took a nosedive. Allegations from several women surfaced, hitting headlines and tarnishing his career. Fast forward to June 2019, and he's caught up in a bar incident in NYC. The situation escalated when prosecutors revealed allegations from 14 women across the U.S., dating back to 2001. Now he's facing misdemeanor charges for alleged groping incidents in Manhattan. But here's where it gets really interesting. The New York Supreme Court kicks off proceedings under the Adult Survivors Act, giving people a shot at bringing civil claims for past misconduct. It's been quite the roller coaster ride for him, with legal hurdles and controversies aplenty. Back in 2013, he managed to sidestep a trial by settling with a woman who accused him dating back a decade. But that's just scratching the surface. In 2018, another woman accused him of forcing a kiss on her while she was working at a nightclub. He copped a plea for that one. Then, in 2019, yet another woman accused him of getting handsy at a rooftop bar without her consent. Now, both these women are seeking damages, aiming to compensate for the assault, lost earnings, and the mental and physical pain they endured. Gooding's spokesperson has been tight-lipped about it all, but he managed to dodge a jail time for both incidents, getting slapped with 6 months of counseling instead. But hold up, Diddy's got his own mess to deal with, like the fact that the feds just raided his house. Federal agents swarmed Diddy's Beverly Hills mansion, and it was a scene straight out of an action movie. Homeland Security is leading the charge, with choppers buzzing overhead, cops on the scene, and guns drawn as they meticulously comb through the lavish property. And guess where all this drama is unfolding? Right here in Holmby Hills, where swanky mansions line the streets. The air is thick with tension as choppers swirl above and feds team up with local cops, creating a spectacle that's hard to miss. Residents are spilling the tea about wild parties, mysterious black cars, and VIPs coming and going like it's the hottest club in town. But wait, there's more. The chopper cam captures it all. The SWAT rides, agents in tactical vests, and individuals in cuffs being led away from one of these mega cribs. Sources speaking to NBC News reveal that federal agents are executing search warrants, delving into serious allegations ranging from drug-related offenses to worse, all allegedly tied to Diddy. But here's the kicker. Diddy himself isn't even in town. Insider sources spill the beans that he's chilling in Miami while this entire saga unfolds. And to add to the intrigue, his phones were reportedly seized before he jetted off to the Bahamas. Now guess who was spotted in sunny South Beach over Easter weekend? None other than Cuba Gooding Jr. himself, soaking up the Florida sun amidst a backdrop of ongoing federal investigations. Talk about interesting timing, especially considering his alleged connection to Diddy. TMZ managed to snag a photo of Cuba cruising around South Beach on the back of a golf cart with 2 unidentified dudes up front. Sporting his shades and looking as relaxed as ever, Cuba seemed to be enjoying the festive vibes of the Sunshine State while scrolling through his phone. Now, why might Cuba's presence in South Florida turn a few heads? Well, he and Diddy were recently named co-defendants in that lawsuit. With everything that's gone down with Diddy since that lawsuit dropped earlier this year, Cuba's sudden appearance in Miami is definitely raising eyebrows. But here's the kicker. Cuba hasn't been seen hanging out with Diddy during his time in Florida. And as for those allegations in Rodney's lawsuit, Cuba's been mum about it all, along with anything Diddy related. As for Diddy himself, he's been making public appearances in Miami, despite the federal sex trafficking probe hanging over his head. Denying all allegations in multiple civil suits, Diddy seems to be taking it all in stride. And as far as the feds go, he hasn't been arrested or charged with any crime. And the weird relationship between the two doesn't stop there. Even Reggie Wright Jr. talked about it. He mentioned that if the allegations about them were true, he could see it happening, particularly referencing the photo of Lil Rod and Cuba hugging in the studio, which he described as appearing zesty.
That picture that they have, that he supplied to him with them hugging, it did look awfully zesty, huh? Yeah, I saw that particular interview or statement. That picture of Little Rod and Mr. Cuba Gooding hugging in the studio. If Cuban wasn't drunk that particular day, then yeah, man. But, you know, guys from Hollywood is weird.
Then he went on about how Hollywood's all wild and crazy, with people doing some questionable stuff. He straight up said he believed the allegations, comparing them to other scandals in Hollywood.
Y'all been hearing about it. Y'all come over here to Bomb First. I've been telling y'all about them. Which one of them, other than like Cube or Denzel or stuff like that, haven't we heard this gay smut stuff on? They all got some baggage. I mean, my boy Terry Crews saying how he let a man. Ain't nobody gonna let a man grab on your nuts unless you done heard that it happened before.
Now, even rappers like 50 Cent are calling him out for supposedly wild parties, filled with young guys spilling all about their escapades. Even Usher hinted at being around these shindigs, talking about the lavish lifestyle without going into specifics.
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
The new video this evening involving actor Cuba Gooding Jr., who is fighting those allegations of groping a woman here in New York City. Well, tonight, here's surveillance video obtained by TMZ and what it shows. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis again tonight.
New surveillance video captures the moment that now has actor Cuba Gooding Jr. facing 2 misdemeanor charges, accused of groping a woman in a New York bar Sunday night. TMZ obtaining this video, which allegedly shows the accuser sitting down next to Gooding and his girlfriend. Gooding appears to first put his hand on her thigh. A few seconds later, he appears to move it up near her chest. The actor is then seen pulling her hands to his lips.
When you speak your truth, does that make you not want to actually speak out and actually keep it as real as you kept it in these interviews?
There have been days where I thought to myself, maybe it's just too much trouble.
Oh.
And then I remember that's my fucking purpose.